Hi everyone, my name is Chiara Ranieri. I'm a producer and a singer. In this video, I'd like to share with you the concept of my new album, which I made together with Matteo Mitilini. We worked together on everything from the production, writing, post-production as a real team, giving the same contribution in every aspect. And right now we are a duo, and our artist name is Safe Release. We created entirely two different albums with two different interpretations. They called Metamorphosis Dawn and Metamorphosis Dusk. Even if the albums are different, the main concept is the same. Nature, tired of everything surrounding it, decide to contaminate what is it inorganic and is invading their space. Matteo and I just let ourselves be contaminated by this concept, starting from the same place but then choosing two different paths, so we could tell what was happening on both sides. This is why three of the tracks present in both albums are Crazy, Hide and Flowers Lullaby, because these three songs represent three key phases in the transformation, which I explain later. This idea for us meant pure experimentation in music. We decided to mix an urban sound with a more organic live sound. Everything I experienced and absorbed, I shared it with Matteo, and he did the same with me. And that's how Metamorphosis was born. The two albums are two different versions of the same journey. Metamorphosis Dawn is a trip that starts at sunrise with a clear vision and a day already planned, while Metamorphosis Dusk is about realizing that sometimes you just don't need to plan your day, you need to leave it and enjoy the surprises and the unexpected moments that comes. The idea of dawn and dusk come from the fact that in the morning, urban music, the city, the concrete, is stronger, but by sunset, nature becomes aware and strong enough to fight back and rise above the city that tries to stop it from growing. From the sound point of view, these two-sided, urban and natural, completely fuse together, and that's the real metamorphosis actually. The explanation of the real metamorphosis will be given by Matteo, but for now I'll try to explain by imagining ourselves as living nature, tired of being controlled. We finally want to rebel and return to free, instinctive human nature, letting go all the sterile conventions. After this short introduction, about what inspired the album, I just want to talk about the technical side. My album is made of 8 original tracks that change genre as you move from dawn to dusk. I'll talk about all the hybrid forms of urban that inspired our album. Our project, in fact, is based on the history and the evolution of urban music and its main hybrids. R&B soul, hip-hop, and then the more recent influences from electronic music and alternative folk. And I think at the heart of urban music culture lies a fundamental principle that is the fusion, because urban music has its roots in African American neighborhoods in the USA, like in the 70s and the 80s. But hip-hop or R&B soul started as way to tell stories, protest, then evolved mixing with other styles and becoming more open to experimentation. In the last 20 years, urban music has totally opened up to dialogue with other cultures and technologies. In the UK, for example, we have liquid drum and bass with artists like Hybrid Minds, Monroe, Kenya Grace that mix breakbeats to sub-bass with pop melodies and ethereal voice, changing traditional urban music with a more electronic feeling. The alternative movement brought artists like Amalu, Neo, who fused R&B, minimal electronic, neo-soul and pop to create sophisticated, minimal and intimate sound, where textures and atmospheres are more important than the classic melodic style. Artists like, for example, Georgia Smith, Yebba, represent a new idea of modern R&B, very careful production, the central role of the voice, deep emotion, influence to jazz, pop, alternative electronic, while Jordan Rakei, for example, he brings new soul closer to jazz, with complex harmonic progression and a hybrid production that mix live instruments and electronic programming. While on the folk side, acoustic, artists like Aurora, Scott, they just reimagine songwriting with delicate electronics, layered vocals, accurate sound design. The tracklist of the album is this in the screen. I'd like to go deeper into the production side of these tracks. The first 4 songs, When the Snow Falls, Flashback, Blow It Up and Crazy, are in the R&B hip-hop area with R&B soul and neo-soul influences. The next 4 are more hybrid, which I explain later. About the first one, When the Snowfall, has a very dynamic syncopated groove, kind of quintuplet swing and a touch of drill. The production is minimalist, kind of like a Amalou Neo, and focuses on the contrast between electronic drums and natural voice, while Flashback is rooted in R&B soul but develops into liquid drum and bass. The writing and the arrangement are inspired by artists like Kenya Grace, Hybrid Minds, with layered synths, airy parts, vocal, rich in harmonies, reverb, deep synth bass. And the sense of Flashback is about wanting to go back to a time when nature was alive, but at the same time deciding to face the challenge of the changing, the present, in which like we feel stuck and lost. So a fight. Blow It Up is the third song, and it's the first song more dynamic in style, with a sound that changed during the song. It's about an explosion, destroying something in order to build something new and not feeling any regret. The mix of classic and modern instruments give it kind of updated sound. Soul with modern details like Yaba and Raye, strong electric bass, electronic drums with swing, Rhodes, soul keyboards, vocal layering a lot, parallel compression, rhythm instruments, and filter automation on synth and vocals. Crazy is the transition track, one that changed and never go back, with a strong, powerful impact. It's the first real protest, a cry for not wanting to stay frozen in an inorganic, like dead state. The inspiration from the artists like Jordan Rakei, Georgia Smith, as I said, led us to warm and modern sound, simple but strong harmonic progression, soft drums, slippery acoustic bass, lot of space for the lead vocals, harmonies which are enriched with digital effects like delays, reverb, harmonizer, pitch shifter. In this song, when mixing, it was very important to leave space in the stereo, opening up sound using sidechain between kick and bass, bit of saturation, parallel compression, and a punch that still feels organic, not too aggressive. And from the fifth song called Hide, the style shifts a lot, staying in the neo soul but inspired by, again, Jordan Rakei for the clean production, layered vocals, organic sound mixed with gentle electronic textures, about guitar, soft synths, classic piano, not too many effects on the layered vocals. Bass in this case is round, acoustic, moving like an elastic, and the drums are also acoustic but light but energetic. From the style and the meaning point of view, Hide is a very dynamic song with an unexpected and irregular structure. I wrote it by imagining I was like conscience or an inner voice telling that we've been good for too long and that's maybe it's time to rewrite the destiny I, as a conscience, wrote for you. And there is also I Feel It Anyway, which is about taking courage, like taking a breath of air. The first line of the chorus are a sign of full understanding that our art and musical identity becoming stronger each day. In fact, the phrases are, no matter how we fight it, I'm sure it is a start. No matter how we find it, it will be in our art. This song grows and grows and becomes more intense until the end when it stays in suspense. Production-wise, this is a pure acoustic and electronic hybrid, like Bon Iver or in some ways Yeba, with layers of acoustic instruments, synths, vocal effects, and all moved and changed by automation and vocal manipulation. Then there is The Flowers Lullaby, an alternative folk song inspired by Aurora for its fairy tales, atmospheres, ethereal voice, suspending feelings, lots of finger-picked guitars with effects, orchestral parts, whispered harmonies, soft dynamics. Here the music speaks about feeling free. I tried to do this in the previous song and I feel like I achieved this, and in fact this song is about limits, roots growing, shaping ground. The flowers, the subject of the song, can be interpreted in different ways, but for me it's something fragile, unique, special that may not want to be pulled away from the art it belongs to. Maybe we should just try to understand what it feels like to be in its place, to really feel the organic connection. And I try to do that in the end, because the song ends with just background birds, guitars, and untreated vocal. The last track is Shapeless. This is the most powerful song and announced the battle, the moment when nature tries to make us part of it. This is the highest point of metamorphosis. Shapes and genres dissolve. Everything becomes a pure mix of organic and electronic. This is alternative and experimental pop inspired by Kate Bush, Scott, Brian Eno, and of course Aurora again. The soundscape here is surreal, opening with background sound that go from cannon noises, urban sounds, and fire alarms that then slowly become like crackling fire. The piano here is plays single dissonant notes, always changing, unpredictable as the rhythm, as the sound design, really unconventional. There are layers of acid synths, spacey pods, electronic sound, sub-bass 808, deep acoustic drums to recall like a dance around the fire. The voice is very up to front, and many background harmonies are part of the arrangement, stereo wide as pads and synths. The vocal interpretation here is very intense because it's the last song. I'm trying to say that this is a change that cannot be stopped anymore, and that we need to become shapeless to adapt to our new organic form. And this was the last track, and I think I've told you all the essential things I wanted to say. And I'd like to conclude by saying that our main creative goals was to create an evolving metamorphosis, experimenting with sound design for a clear and like direct emotional impact, but also something intimate and unique. That's all. I uploaded all the tracks of Metamorphosis Dawn to YouTube in a private playlist because we would like to study better how to release it. That said, I hope you enjoy listening to it, and thank you again for your attention.